Hello everyone. That was good. Welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That is where 9,000 Norwich City fans had an evening they will not forget. Norwich City are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup on penalties. They won 3-2 on penalties, mainly because Tim Krul saved 2 from Tottenham in the shootout. Norwich only needed to take 4. He was the hero, in essence, of the shootout. What a man he is, by the way. But he was also a hero during the 120 minutes before that. It finished 1-1 after extra time and full time. Some of the saves Tim Krul pulled off were excellent, but not quite as good as the block Ben Godfrey pulled off really late in normal time, I think it was. It looked like a goal all the way from, I think it was Serge Aurier. An incredible block from Ben, who put in a true leader's performance tonight. And I would say there's nothing more satisfying than seeing Norwich turn up in a pretty big game with a massive following, which was a sight to behold, and then delivering a performance full of heart and endeavour. And I saw some people sort of criticising Norwich in the first half, and I think I don't really want to criticise them. Lucas Rupp, Mario Vrancic, I thought they struggled with the pace of the game, but they haven't played a lot of football. And Spurs were. You felt if Spurs were more proactive during the game, they probably would have had a better time of it. But a lot of the time, they did want to invite Norwich, and the fact they spent so much of the game ahead probably helped. The goal from the set piece. It was a good run by Vertonghen, but he kind of outjumped and outwitted Mario and Jamal at the far post. So pretty disappointing. I thought Norwich dug in for almost the entirety of the game. I'm going to come inside actually because it's quite annoying, and I remember last time the noise from the from the lawnmowers was probably quite bad, so I'll try and take us away from it a little bit. But I thought, and now I look like I'm in a corridor, so you have to put up with that instead. But I thought that Norwich's performance was pretty good, to be honest. And even if you looked at it and thought, they got themselves back level with a bit of help, it has to be said, because Michel Vorm spilt Kenny McLean's shot. He'd come on as a substitute, kind of inexplicably, and Josip Drmic, who didn't have a great game of it, to be fair, but he did read the rebound and he sort of ploughed his way in, and I don't really know what the ball went in off, probably his knee, but they all count. And Josip got Norwich into the quarterfinals. They will now play either Manchester United or Derby at Carrow Road towards the end of March. I think it means the Everton game will be put back. So that's obviously an interesting dynamic, as is the fact Norwich go to Sheffield United on Saturday, having left everything out here. I mean, there were players through the 30 minutes of extra time who were absolutely blowing, like Todd Campbell and what have you. So it's not the ideal dynamic for Bramall Lane, even though Sheffield United also had extra time on Tuesday night at Reading. So there we go. But it was a really enjoyable game in a lot of ways. But I think that was because of the magnitude, maybe more so than the quality of it. Just taking it forward to the shootout, I have to say, Adam Idah came on as a substitute. No, I think that was still in normal time. But he actually then ended up playing quite a lot of the game at sort of left wing back almost. Left winger pretty much. And I thought he was, for the young man he is and how little senior football he's played, I thought he was absolutely outstanding, and he topped it off with a brilliant penalty, just absolutely brilliant. And special praise as well for Todd Campbell's penalty, which was very good, and Marco Stiepermann's, it was taken just like a German should take a penalty. I think it's probably the best way of putting it. And I thought during the course of the 90 minutes. There were some strange moments with Emi Buendia. I think he had a tough game of it and he got frustrated, and there were 1 or 2 times when he wanted a free kick and didn't get them, and actually for the first time we saw his teammates biting at him. It's like, get on with it, and we haven't really seen that, and I don't know if that's a reaction to some of the stuff that's been in the press. We've sort of talked about the reaction that would come from Emi to that, which was of course positive. But maybe we saw a bit of the players' reaction to that this afternoon or this evening, and feeling a bit free to react to if Emi wasn't doing what they wanted him to. That's interesting. More of a concern is the fact that Emi seemed to pull his hamstring. How bad that is, we will have to wait and see. But I would suggest he's a doubt for Saturday, and you just hope it isn't a particularly bad one. He did say it wasn't. It was feeling better as he walked through the mix zone when I asked him. That's good, but he was still limping and he was still holding his hamstring. So we will wait and see on that one. But I thought Max Aarons was outstanding. He was probably my man of the match. He is in a great run of form at the moment. He's playing so well. It's great to see. And yeah, I thought defensively Grant Hanley and Ben Godfrey stood up to so much in front of them. They did huge amounts of work. So we can take lots of positives, can't we? And move on. And it's obviously very exciting for Norwich to reach this stage of the FA Cup. I think 1992 is the last time they got to the quarterfinals, which is also the last time they got to the semi-finals. And of course, Norwich have never progressed beyond the semi-finals of this competition. And I just think this was magic for you. If you came here and you watched that, it's the biggest away following they've had inside this stadium since it was opened. If you're watching on the telly and following it, whichever, I'm sure you'll have enjoyed it and felt incredibly proud about the effort the players put in. They really did dig in against a highly talented Spurs side. I mean, even when they're not at it, even when they've clearly got issues around the place, even when Eric Dyer goes into the crowd at full time, after the penalties, obviously, to confront a fan, which is clearly the big brewing story after this game. It underlines the issues they've got, but you can't then argue against the quality they've got. With Celso in the middle, I thought was outstanding, as he was at back here in the league game in January. So fair play, because Norwich have really dug in, and they've deserved it, because they got a bit of luck and they were able to take advantage of their promising situations, and they showed the biggest amount of heart. And I would say they were incredibly proactive in the evening. They never stopped trying to force the issue. They were very patient in extra time, probably because they were knackered, but likewise they were trying to draw Spurs out. Come and run at us a bit, because then we can see if we can get some space at the other end. So they kept playing how they wanted to keep playing. They obviously had to tweak it with Josip, but they kept playing, and it's brilliant. Norwich are in decent form. You know, if we sort of ring fence the Wolves game, they are performing well, and they're starting just to get better results. Clearly, long way to go. But I don't think this will be a distraction, I have to say. I think this can only be positive. We didn't see Timo Pukki at all tonight, so he should be nicely rested. Well, apart from, he did have a warm-up. So there are definite plus points. And we'll see what happens at Bramall Lane, where, let's be honest, Norwich certainly owe Sheffield United won after what happened at Carrow Road earlier in the season, and then probably last season as well. So we'll see how it all unfolds. But in the meantime, enjoy the fact that Norwich are in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. It doesn't happen very often. They've just won a penalty shootout. That doesn't happen very often either. And I think the correct term is we go again. So that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what I'll do. I'm sure there'll be lots of lovely stuff over at The Athletic over the coming days, so make sure you keep an eye out. If you haven't subscribed, have a look in the notes, because I'm sure there'll be a discount code. You should do it. It's worth it, not just for my stuff, but there's so much good stuff to read if you love reading about football and the people involved in it. If you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, thank you. It's much appreciated. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I read them all. And yeah, see you on Saturday night. Fingers crossed.